Ain't nothing but a heartache. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Welcome to Shft+F1, a podcast about speedy race cars. That, of course, is the Backstreet Boys, residents of the Las Vegas sphere. Will this championship come down to mistakes and heartaches, or will one of the McLaren boys get it just the way they want it? I'm Drew Skinner.
Oh, that's a promo.
Dwyer.
Wow, I want to go to Vegas right now. I was in the Venetian earlier in the summer with some friends, and the Backstreet Boys Experience was there. Everyone was dressed up in white tank tops. It was a good time.
I've heard great
so
things.
many reasons to go to Vegas these days.
Yeah. MLB winter discussions happening. Rob Zachney's joining us also. How are you, Rob?
Back and can't wait to discuss. Well, we have no races, so glad to be back for an episode where we got a fill for a runtime.
Yeah.
Rob
Emails were
Zachney's
also
back.
thin.
All right.
Zach Lands sending 3 emails. We damn near put all of them in the show. Thanks, Zach.
If you are new to this podcast, a very warm welcome to you. And if you are new to Formula One itself, we recommend listening to our preseason primer episode, which assumes no prior F1 knowledge and explains how the sport works and who everybody is. So if you'd like to go back and listen to that, it's episode 298. Also, this show would not be possible without our audience over at patreon.com/shiftf1, where every month we release ad-free versions of the podcast early, along with bonus podcasts and videos exclusively for our patrons. You know what? This one's not going out early, so asterisk there. They cover racing documentaries and films, F1 video games, experiments with other racing series, and a lot of weird things. So if you would like to support the show and get access to all that fun stuff, head over to patreon.com/shiftf1 or click the link in the show notes. What's been going on in Patreon land recently, Danny?
We're warming up for The Love Bug, which apparently was the official name of Herbie the Love Bug, the movie that we all know and love from 1968, our childhood. Yes, we're excited to watch that. We'll have it primed for you before Thanksgiving for those of you in the USA, and we'll have it primed for you for a random Thursday, Friday for everyone else in the world. And of course, in the meantime, you can go check out our review of Christine that we did last month, which, we all had a lot of fun talking about
Banger.
that one. That was some... We used to make movies in this country, man. And a massive thanks to all of our incredible title sponsors, including a new one this week, Let's Margo Racing. Ooh. I like a pun. I Ching Wells, Dr. V, Apple TV Plus, Home of Invasion Season 3, Man and Harmony, Deange, It's a Me Ferrario, Big Oil, Mojo Nixon, Get Rich or Die Ryan, my Irish brother, Agave ATX, Cyphus Training, Turf SES, Michael Maves, Eccleston, Heavy Industries, TelemetryDeck.com, FTC, Tracy Syntax, Drew Stewart, Bailey Foot, Jason Chadwick, Abraham Getchell, Bunny Crimes, Snigs, HireThisWalker.com, Alex Couchet, Max Voltar Keyboards, Jeff Foster, Troy Stammer, William Romph, Lachlan the Maddened Man, Samurai Love Story, and Jason Kelly. Thank you all so much, you beautiful race car lovers. We love you almost as much as you love F1.
You can't just put Apple TV Plus Home of Invasion Season 3 in there. It's not even... Is it a joke? You're just handing... They're not sponsoring us, okay?
Hold on, though.
I love it.
What if you're a fan of Invasion and you're starting to get the sinking feeling that, like, nobody's talking about Invasion the way everyone's, like, on that pluribus, all that stuff. And so you need to remind people about those fine early Apple TV offerings. So you got to be, like, changing your title sponsor, like, hey, let's all watch Foundation. Remember that? Yeah. So you do have to rep for these things.
Say
There
a
is no
Jericho
shortage.
situation. Or we're going to get sent a
Jericho.
whole bunch of nuts.
Wow. Remember Jericho?
Yeah.
Remember that? I didn't watch that TV show because it just reminded me of The Wrestler, and I couldn't separate those things in my head.
Pretty different properties. Yeah, it was like I forget the premise. I watched it was like an apocalyptic something
Yes.
happened and everyone was like having to deal with the consequences. And it was Lost-esque in that, like, there's a secret out there and we're not going to tell you what it was.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
this-
I in frustration no longer wanted to watch it for that reason.
There's like a
but
wave of
people
those
loved
shows,
it.
like Under the Dome. And then there was the one where, like, Earth just loses all electricity overnight or something. I forget what the name of that one was, but it was a similar sort of, like, what if suddenly modern society just collapsed
Outage.
overnight? Yeah.
Solar flare happened or something. All the
Exactly,
hard drives
exactly.
are wiped. There's no more pornography. What do we do?
Oh no, they're like live performance. Dan.
Oh yeah, of course.
We return to the theater.
It's like that old Mr. Burns the play. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that but porn. So it's people like telling stories about Gemma Jameson, Boswell, and they're like reenacting porn scenes.
Lend me your ears. We turn our stage to fair Verona,
Exactly.
where
Yes,
a hot stepmom is currently
Just like Mr. Burns the play, they misinterpret everything in the second act. Yeah, so it ends up being that's great. Yeah, somebody should do that. It's like a smash cut of Shakespeare. Like everyone misremembers Shakespeare and porn and gets confused. So it's like the Merchant of Venice, but the pound of flesh is something else. You know what I mean?
If you couldn't tell, we don't have a race to talk about this week.
We're just happy Rob's here. We just want to.
This is the final pre-race only show that we're going to do this year.
Final pre-race only show
with emails.
With emails, yeah. I guess the final email segment before we get to the post-season emails.
Yeah.
Because we've got a triple header coming up.
Triple header,
so let's
folks.
lay the groundwork.
Triple header.
With the news such as it is. Looking forward to 2026, we now have a livery for the Audi car, which we should put a link to in the show notes so people can see. Folks,
do we?
Fellow co-hosts, what do you think of the livery?
It's a teaser livery. So they're
well, right. It doesn't have any numbers or sponsors or anything on it. It's like, here's the color scheme.
Yeah, and the look. Yeah, look at those tires. They're all the same size.
Look, I think Audi racing tends to have an awesome color scheme. I think they're very lucky that silver arrows aren't really a thing as much anymore.
Yes.
Because I think there was an era where this color scheme would have blended in a lot more. But I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is kind of iconic. I think it might get dinged bland a little bit, but like the curse of Audi design is that their stuff always looks a little bit bland because they're always going for sort of an understated look.
Yeah.
Always looks better in person than on pictures. But I think this looks cool.
Yeah. It's like someone dipped a car.
Yeah.
In silver, because it's only halfway through from front to back. It's divided, and the front half is completely silver with some nice like fluorescent red trim around the air intakes of the side pods, and then the back half is black, but the side pods are that fluorescent red. So yeah.
I hope they get some really disastrous sponsors for this, though.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Completely, like Home Depot or something.
Dynamic fasteners. Yeah, it's just like I do feel like if it depending on how these sponsors are applied, this transition could look a lot less stark. Maybe you know what I mean. Like I hope they keep the ads to one side. Also, just quick correction. Obviously, the tires are different sizes. I was just being silly.
We've all struggled with livery editors in racing games, and there's a reason that, like, at first this one looks really cool, where you're like, oh, I love this dipped look. And then you realize why it maybe doesn't work, because some of your prime real estate has this weird, like, bar across it. So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of editing in video games, Danny.
Yeah.
The
EA
F1
Sports,
video game.
The new game next year. So yes, they've announced that they're not going to be releasing a standalone new Formula One game in 2026. EA Sports, who obviously in recent years acquired Codemasters and thus the F1 contract to make those games, they are instead going to be releasing an expansion pack for the existing game for 2026 and then working on a game for 2027. Obviously, this has ruffled a lot of feathers. Let me just read out this quote from Limar. over at Codemasters. F1 has been an incredible success fueled by the passion of fans and energy of the sport. With Formula One's momentum on and off the track, now's the perfect time for us to look ahead and build for the future. We're fully committed to the EA Sports F1 franchise. Our multi-year plan extends this excitement with the 2026 expansion and reimagines the experience for 2027 to deliver even more for players at every level around the world. So the logic behind this would be that because of the big regulation changes next year, and because they have no data, they from what I know, because I did an interview with these guys, was it like a decade ago now at this stage, and I reviewed a bunch of these games for GameSpot. The logic, and I'm not playing devil's advocate, I'm just sort of explaining it. The logic is that they don't get early access to like telemetry or anything like that we don't get, and also nobody really knows in the world of F1 what these cars are going to handle like or do until they hit the track. The season starts obviously, February of next year. The games are in development and launch around the summertime, so the window for them to do stuff which isn't superficial, like if a new track gets added, they can get the data from that, right? That stuff they do get. Or if like liveries change, that's not that much work to stick into a new game. For them to rebuild a physics system, presumably, that's going to be something that they're not going to be able to do in 3 months. So to stick to this, instead of them coming out at Christmas once the F1 season is over, what they're essentially doing is putting out this version as an expansion and then rallying around the new one for next year. And something like this did happen last time we had regs. I was trying to look it up earlier.
You're right. But I don't think they went the full paid expansion thing.
No.
I think what they did was one of the editions they kind of doubled up the amount of like content that was in it. It was like they're sort of advertising the fact that like they kind of basically said it was like the 2019 edition or whatever. They were like, it's kind of going to suck.
Yes.
And then the 2020 edition had like the 2019 season and 2020 both like modeled in detail. I feel like that was their sort of compromise.
You're right. It was something like that. They didn't do they released like a full version.
They came as close as they could to saying do not buy this new edition. Because we don't have shit. So I'm of two minds about this. I have, for the reasons you pointed out, I have a lot of sympathy for this decision. I also think that you can sort of see like their cool narrative mode shows up every other year. There's a lot of indicators that they can't really turn around a compelling new offering in the series annually the way that other EA Sports franchises do. And it just doesn't make as much sense. Like, there's such huge roster changes in every other sport, but that's not true in F1. So I think I have some sympathy for this because it's kind of tough to justify doing one of these games every year. It was going to be really hard with this generational shift. I think it really depends like what that paid update is going to look like to sort of, because I think F125 rocked. Like I liked that quite a bit. We'll kind of see what they do for next season, and then we really need a banger of a game come F127. But this is also in an era where we have a lot of like misgivings about the direction of EA, sort of a company that its C-suite has sold out to Saudi-backed investors, is sort of loudly and proudly saying, like, we want to be an AI company. And they've already kind of vandalized Codemasters' lineup, right? Like, we're not getting any more rally games from Codemasters. And they were making great rally games for a number of years. That's their bread and butter. So we're talking about like a studio that absorbed a ton of other racing game studios, was sort of like the UK racing game studio for, almost decades at this point. And now, they kind of don't make much to begin with.
Yeah.
And you're saying, and we're going to take a year off from F1.
Yeah.
That is a concerning sign if you care about racing games, because this also is the sort of thing that can sort of presage walking away from a genre entirely from a big publisher.
Yeah, I think the long tail on the EA deal always worried me, because F1 as a franchise was only ever going to appeal to people, like obviously people who watch the sport, and that is a significantly smaller amount of people than, say, FIFA or EA Sports FC, as it's known now, even Madden, like, NBA of it. Well, that's obviously not EA. So the ceiling on this particular audience always worried me with a large publisher, because they always look for the highest ceiling possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something to grow towards. So yeah, I think this hits differently because it's now owned by EA. I think there would have been more sympathy, and there probably was, in previous years when it was scrappy little codemasters up in Leamington Spa who were like trying to put this whole thing together, and they're trying to make good by their publisher and the IP holder and all this sort of stuff. Whereas now, EA every year is happy to, like you said, like every other year we get like a good story mode. It's not like EA couldn't do expansion packs for EA Sports FC or Madden or F1 every year and just give us a roster update, a bunch of new, liveries or jerseys or whatever it is. But it just so happens that in the year they can't justify selling the product because it won't work right. Like, it's almost like they're getting ahead of next year and going like, next year's version is going to have a bad driver's model that's not going to feel like the new F1. You know what I mean? Like, because they know they can't do it. So yeah, I'm with you. I think this. I don't think this hits the ear as good now that they're under EA ownership. Even if I think there is a degree of pragmatism to the decision ultimately.
Well, one thing that they'll have to contend with is the new rules on car liveries, which I guess the Audi concept is in adherence to.
Yeah, you have to dip them in the,
dip them.
Paint. You has
yeah. Could be chocolate. Only. Could be fondue.
Then sprinkles. It's like the start of Hot Shots Part 2. Remember?
Oh my God! Incredible pull. Yes.
We're on fire, man. That Norm one last week.
Hot Shots Part 2 opening with the Rambo bear like fighting in the jungle thing.
It's not. It's Bloodsport. Isn't it?
Bloodsport.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah. Although I think Rambo is doing prize fights when they find him in Rambo 2.
Oh, okay.
But also gave us a memorable sex scene in Hot Shots Part 1 where he starts romantically eating stuff off his lover's body, but then starts preparing an entire breakfast scramble off her stomach like it's a skillet.
Jesus, those movies are so good. I gotta watch those. War, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
God.
Anyway, liveries. The rule now is for 2026, you have to have at least 55% of your car covered with paint and or stickers. Meaning,
do they use the word stickers?
Yeah, I think so. Stickers, vinyls.
Vinyls, I think, sounds better. Stickers.
Yeah, because they don't want a bunch of cars that are just carbon fiber, like we had for a little bit this year.
That's why there's so much black on the car.
From the FIA says must be covered by painted or stickered liveries, as opposed to bare carbon fiber surfaces.
Smart. Like I think we sort of said they needed to impose this rule when we saw the livery reveals, I think 2 years ago, and it was all like 60% bare carbon fiber up to like the line of the side pods. Yeah. So this is them doing exactly what they kind of need to do, which is as long as you left it open to a team getting a competitive advantage from simply not painting the carbon fiber, you were going to have a bunch of largely carbon fiber cars racing around the track.
Yeah, that you couldn't
really
tell
glad
apart.
They're doing this. I think they could have gone more than 50%.
Yeah.
I think you could have been like, you know what? You need to put some paint on that shit. Like, it needs to be like 80%. Like, let's go wild with liveries.
They should add an extra one that says that Ferrari aren't allowed to put a big dirty white HP section on their car as well, because I think that's a crime against F1.
God. They need to make an exemption for Marlboro. Just like let Marlboro go back to it. Like nobody else. Okay, hang on. Lucky Strike and Marlboro. Lucky Strike and Marlboro can advertise in F1. Nobody else can.
Is Lucky Strike? Can you still buy packets of Lucky Strike? Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Look.
They
if
only
they
sell
ever
them in
announce that
bookies.
that's going away, I'm gonna be running out to. I haven't smoked that shit in years, but like if that's ever going away, I'm gonna be buying like so many cartons, like building a humidor.
What else? Imagine
are you gonna
roll
Cadillac.
Up in the sleeve of your white T-shirt.
Exactly, yeah. Before you head out to the greaser meetup.
And don't tell me Camel Straights are better. Miss me with that.
No. Imagine that. Please, nobody smoke. Imagine a new Cadillac with a big American Spirits logo on the side of it.
Well, okay, no, American. Sorry to anyone who smokes American Spirits. I don't.
You're going to offend all of
I
San
don't have the
Francisco
most
right now.
powerful.
The Native American audience is not going to like this, Rob.
I don't think it's Native Americans that like it. Just
Okay.
it's kind of a douchey brand, is my experience. Where it's like organic cigarettes is kind of the vibe. Where it's like
yeah.
you smoke
Straight from the
smoke
earth,
poison
like
I
we used
smoke-
to.
Yeah,
Before this land was taken over by filters and...
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but they're filtered. They're filtered. What are we doing?
You know who doesn't put filters in the cigarettes? North Korea.
Oh, wow. You're just
That's the real
sucking
stuff
on,
over
You're
there.
just sucking on the campfire over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only cigarette I've ever smoked was in North Korea.
Nice. God, that's one way to never smoke.
Yep.
Is to just like...
It felt like my
it's like giving a
legs were
child a
each
cigar.
1,000 pounds. It was really weird.
I
Wow.
remember because I had a really shitty job and cleaning golf carts. Somebody left a pack of Marlboro Lights in the in a
nice.
golf cart, and I was really bored, and I had a couple of those, and I was like, "Oh shit, I kind of like smoking." But then I was so Band of Brothers pilled. I was like, "Well, let's just see what Lucky Strikes are like." And I lit one up in the car. I had to pull the car over because I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dying! Help!" Because I took a massive drag off it, no filter, so immediately just like more nicotine and smoke I've ever had in my life.
You just
had to pull the
almost
car over,
passed out.
retching out the driver's side door,
So funny.
and I'm like, "Oh wait, hang on, let me get another taste of that," and I was gone.
You're like, wow, suddenly I'm so much, I'm, Bastogne doesn't feel so cold now.
Don't smoke, kids.
No, don't.
All right, we got some follow-up stories here on things that we've covered in previous episodes. We talked about the potential for mandating 2 pit stops. Rob, don't worry. We talked about how stupid this idea is because as soon as you do that, everyone just will adopt the same
tried
pit
it.
strategy. Yeah.
They tried it at Monaco, and like, surely this will
Yeah.
juice Monaco, and it gave us the worst Monaco in like, I don't know, since someone died.
Yeah.
They should do mandated pit stops, but also they mandate that one of your pit crew has to be somebody from the audience.
There you go. That's good.
Oh my god, like a pros versus Joes dynamic, or like
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So they haven't completely axed this. They have just tabled it. Talks to continue in 2026. But it seems like a lot of the team principals are pretty down on it. So hopefully it does not come to pass. Also, we talked about how Ben Sulayem is the only presidential candidate in the running for the new FIA president's seat. Laura Villers, another previous candidate, sued the FIA. That ruling, which we talked about, and just a reset here, she and I think has agreement from other candidates who also had to bow out. Put forth that this isn't a democracy. It's not actually how the FIA rules say that this process should go, because you have to come up with representatives from each kind of sporting region, which are roughly by continent. And there is only one for South America, and Bernie Ecclestone's wife, is locked up with Ben Sulayem. So
She's a
actually,
kingmaker.
it is impossible for anyone else to put forward a candidacy. So she sued the FIA. That ruling will be made on December 3rd. It's in
wow.
Paris courts, which could theoretically lead to the suspension of the election, which is currently slated for December 12th. So we will be watching that. We also talked about there was a few races ago, people, namely Fernando Alonso, being upset about what things get broadcast over the feed of the driver team radio, what gets put on the television feed. This isn't in direct relation to that, but The Race, the-race.com, has a good article about the broadcast center in the UK, where all the feeds come back to, and then are mixed there. If you're a broadcast nerd like I am, this is a fun article, so we'll put it in the show notes. So just some things that, Rob.
Drew, does it explain though why the broadcast seems to be declining in quality? almost like race on race. See, like I didn't talk about the last race, but once again, I felt like they are showing true gifts for missing on race action or cutting away from, like, they are showing highlights of previous races in the middle of a wheel-to-wheel battle for position. Like, there are so many moments now where I'm like, what the hell is going on over there with this World Feed broadcast? So it doesn't surprise me maybe that they're like, let's open the door to the press because we need to get some positive.
I think that's exactly.
Look how sharp we are.
Presumably, it's the same director who works on every race. So,
Right,
because this season feels like it has dropped in quality in terms of its ability to capture meaningful racing action. It's a bad sign when I'm starting to use the F1 TV app like I am the fucking producer and be like, give me Bortoletto, go Bortoletto. Give me Albin, go Albin.
Yeah,
that is the way we're starting to, like, what's happening? We're having to go dig up the action ourselves because they're just missing stuff right and left.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't get into that. It's mostly about technical stuff, which I find interesting. I learned that from Australia to the UK, they've gotten the latency down to 160 milliseconds.
jeez,
That's
wild.
that's good enough to play Counter-Strike, man. And we're talking about 4K from, like, I think
they have
they
those
said 100
dedicated-
terabytes of data come through every weekend.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You have those dedicated. We had a story years ago about the dedicated fiber optic networks that they use.
Yeah, they're not using the internet. It's like it's like private internet. It's crazy.
Man, this would have been unimaginable to anyone who watched the romantic comedy The Dish about the Australian rebroadcast of the moon landings.
Amazing.
Wow.
I remember I watched a YouTube short a few days ago of I think it was like a Maple Leafs fan who lives across the street from the stadium, who's like a hardcore fan, and he has to like close all his windows because the delay across the street is like 10 seconds.
Yeah. So you
And
hear
in a
a big
hockey
cheer.
game,
Yeah.
10 seconds is like a lifetime. You know what I mean? It can be attacking your goal, and within 10 seconds, so he has to like blare his TV super loud, but it still doesn't work. He'll still hear like go, "Ah!" and then
Right.
it's like everything gets spoiled. Amazing.
There's also a good story in there from Free Practice 1 in Mexico of this year. The feed was cut by workers somewhere else in Mexico City digging up a road. But thankfully they have like a fallback, so they were actually able to produce that session on site, which is amazing.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then finally about the team radio here, I'll quote from the Hyphen Race. The 8-person audio team consists of a team radio producer, editors, listeners, and a transcriber, with a 9th member joining the crew in 2026 to deal with the increased pressure of Cadillac team's arrival on the grid.
Oh, nice. That and all of they had to add him because of all the complaining coming from Ferrari, I think, as well.
Right.
That
There's
was a
a
joke.
lot of people that
That was a
complain.
joke.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then finally here, we had talked about maybe we're going to force a two-stop for Qatar, the upcoming Qatar race, because of safety concerns about the tires. That is, in fact, happening. A 25-lap stint is the maximum, so that effectively means a two-stop minimum for the main race. The sprint race will still only be 19 laps, so no stops there. And the article points out this from Autosport. All laps in practice, sprint qualifying, the sprint race, the Grand Prix qualifying, and the Grand Prix itself will be counted per tire set. So that includes laps completed under all of those. So like even if you use a few laps, your tire for a few laps in practice and then put it on in the race, you still have to count the ones the laps that it did in practice. Same goes for under safety car or virtual safety car. So Pirelli, in a statement, said this measure has been deemed necessary following analysis of the tires used in 2024. Last year, several tires, particularly the left front, had reached the maximum wear level. These conditions, combined with the high lateral energy, had increased the structural fatigue of the construction. So look for that in the upcoming Qatar Grand Prix. And a couple stories here from pre-Vegas zone. We've got a few new liveries, so watch out, everybody. The cars might look a little different. Not a lot of these are too drastically different. We've got the blue and pink Alpine. Racing Bulls is white with a little bit of like swirly blue and purple. Holographic design. Mm-hmm. Right next to your Charizard.
And these could also be tweaked a little bit by the time we get to next year.
Yeah, and we've got a little bit of a, I don't know, what is this? Checkered flags adorning
It
the
looks bad.
Sauber. Oh yeah, it's awful.
Interesting they're doing it this early. Remember last year with the whole like, we're going to announce them all at the same event, everyone? Or this year, sorry.
Well, I don't think these are for next year. I think these are like one-offs.
Oh, sorry. Got it. Sorry, I thought they were ones for next year. My bad.
Yeah, no, these are like Vegas specials.
Sorry.
Yeah, the article on the-race.com points out that this is Sauber's final special livery with the title sponsor stake before it becomes the factory Audi team from 2026. So I'm
Bennett
not sure.
Foddy is sponsoring this year's
Anthony Foudy
sponsor.
is telling us to put our masks on the cars. I don't know what it's going to be for the following two races.
Yeah, surely they don't care about gambling on live streams in the Middle East. Like, is it because Kick is going to be on for the next two races and they swap around all the time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who cares?
They're probably gonna run the livery to the end of the year though, because like a couple teams that were a little like less well heeled did not have the budget to switch their cars back before the final races.
Yeah.
Rob, you may not have noticed, but on the YouTube version of the past two episodes of the podcast, I did use a shot of Nico Hulkenberg in that viral stake YouTube short / TikTok thing that him and Bortoletto did.
Nice.
So when he went to take a shit, and it was the fastest shit that's ever happened.
Jesus Christ.
Which is a real thing.
Thank you.
It's a real thing that they did. So
Okay. Danny, you might have to dig that up for the show notes.
Well, it's not.
I tried last week and I couldn't find it.
Oh, really?
TikTok's hard.
I feel like maybe you hallucinated it then. I don't believe
Maybe.
it.
That's true.
Nobody would do that.
Williams also, I think they have the most drastic change here. It's like an all black livery with
It looks matte. Yeah.
the blue
Wow,
trim.
not much paint.
Yeah.
Is that what they're trying to do? Oh, we got to do something.
Yeah, you gotta get in your carbon fiber only liveries while you can. This I think will look cool under the Vegas lights.
It really depends how how reflective is that blue, because I could imagine that being really dramatic. It picks up a lot of highlights, but otherwise you basically built a ghost car.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It'd be like a phantom out there.
If the lights go out.
I forgot to take an ad break, so let's do that, and we'll be back with one more news story and then pre-Vegas talk. All right, everyone, before we head into Vegas, here is how Verstappen could be eliminated from the Drivers' Championship in the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
From the Drivers' Championship.
No,
I got excited there for a second.
No.
Danny was like, finally, justice. Yes, let me hear it. We've
not a
compromised
Hitman
Max
level.
Verstappen to a permanent end.
This is compiled by Autosport.com. So this phrasing is interesting. If Verstappen ships 9 points to Norris in Las Vegas, then he will be out of the running. Is that a UKism? Is that?
Never heard that one.
Okay.
No. Someone's being weird. Is this AI? Did AI write this?
The auto doesn't stand for automotive. It stands for automatic intelligence.
Automatic sport. I love it. Automated sport.
So if Norris wins and Verstappen comes no higher than third, he will be eliminated. If Norris is second and Verstappen gets no higher than sixth, he'll be eliminated. If Norris gets third and Verstappen is no higher than seventh, he'll be eliminated.
Ooh.
If Norris gets fourth and Verstappen is no higher than ninth, he'll be eliminated. And if Norris is fifth, Verstappen is no higher than 10th.
Okay.
He'll be eliminated.
Really, the answer is there's basically no way this is ever going to happen now because Like, he needs Norris to basically not finish in the top 5 for 3 races. Like, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
It's a long shot. I mean, people crash out in Vegas. Absolutely, it could get tasty. I think that's the thing. Like, as much as that is, a thing. Piastri and Norris, obviously. What's the gap at the moment? It's over 10 now.
It is 24 points.
24. So that's the big math one. Whereas, like, and ultimately it's going to come down race to race. Like, if Piastri can't close that gap in this race, he's into miracle territory. He's into, I need Lando not to finish one of these races and I need to win it.
I mean, all Lando has to do is pull a Piastri in the last race and just like crash into a wall.
What's pull a Piastri? Oh,
remember in
crash,
Brazil,
is that what you're
in
saying?
the background, he just kind of crashed into a wall.
Yeah.
This is like doing a Monica in Friends. Like, we need to pull a Piastri used to mean just being like an Iceman, just like, no fear, doing whatever. Whereas now, pulling a Piastri has been bidding it in the wall.
It's almost like people overstated his sort of understated affect and were like, this guy's basically Ivan Drago. And no, it turns out he's a very young driver in like his 3rd season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just hope for the sake of the sport. I don't really have a dog in the race. I really like Oscar and I'd love for him to do well. I've also, watched and respected Lando for years, and I think he's, put on a great drive and he'd be a great champion too. But that said, I kind of hope the gap doesn't get any wider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think we need, for those last 2 races, especially Abu Dhabi, like, we deserve a good season ender there.
And then we need a race director to be like, now it's my time to shine.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Stroll? Give me solo on Stroll. Take.
No, he means like Zach Brown gets on the radio and is like, no, this is so bad. No, Michael, no. That's my American accent.
But I do think Stroll would play the Nicholas Latifi of
he would,
the end of the
that's
season.
true. Man, Nicholas Latifi, isn't that amazing? That's what he'll be most famous for.
Yeah.
Is being the inciting reason why we have the weirdest ending to a race ever. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Nick.
All right, Danny. Track walk for Las Vegas. 3rd year in the sport for Piastri. 3rd year in the sport for this track.
Started in 2003, came around. They did a lot of fanfare for this for a long while before.
2023, I think.
2023, yeah. Well, did I say 2003?
Yeah.
The years, they just fly by. Yes. 50 laps, 6.2 kilometers, 3.85 miles. No changes to the track this year. Last year they had a lot of work to do replacing all the utility lids along the circuit after Carlos Sainz had a massive incident during practice, and they had to everything got delayed until like 2 a.m. You might remember because of that.
Yeah.
They are actually changing the start time of quality and Grand Prix again, because we might remember the first year or 2, I think it was 2 years, they did it at midnight local. Then they brought it back to 10 p.m. last year, and it's now going to be 8 p.m. local time, which should help, if nothing else, with temperatures. You might not know, folks, unless you listen to this podcast or you've been to Las Vegas. I was in Las Vegas 4 days ago. I was in Good Springs, California, at a Fallout fan event, which is about 30 minutes outside of Las Vegas. Have you ever got driven through Primm, Drew? It's the town on State Line.
I drove with Tested.com to CES one year.
Ah, yes, in
from
January.
San Francisco. So perhaps.
So you did. Up to Hatchet
Did you see the strip at all?
I did not see the strip. I was hanging
so you didn't
out
see
on
any
State
preparations for the race.
No, I didn't. But there was a lot of Shft+F1 fans and No Clip fans at the event, and were asking, "Am I sticking around for the race?" And I was like, "Unfortunately, not. I have to go back and be a dad." But yeah, I was hanging out there in Buffalo Bills, which is a once closed down hotel that they reopened for the Fallout fan event just for like the 4 or 5 days. And let me tell you, the diegesis of being in a dilapidated hotel, and when it rained, water was pouring into the casino. When you're at a post-apocalyptic video game event set in Vegas was really something.
Wow. That's also bringing me back to North Korea.
There were probably people smoking while they were getting rained on by rainwater too. It was great. But yes, they so they shifted it back. So people who don't know about desert life is that it gets super cold even in the summertime in the desert because there's nothing there to trap the heat. So 2 hours should make a difference. F1 Academy is also ending here this year, I believe. They said that last year, and I'm assuming it's the final round at the moment. The track itself has 2 big DRS zones. One is on the start-finish straight. Sorry, I take it back. One is just after a short start. They have like this very strange short run up to a left-hander. It's like a reverse Hungary. And then there is a short DRS track straight after that, sort of akin to something like Singapore. And then it's into a complicated little set of Sector 2, which is quite a short Sector 2. And then the back straight is not the final straight of the race, but the penultimate straight of the race. So there is overtaking opportunities there, but you can also set up to try and get the dive down into Turn 1 if you can make it happen there. But we've had a decent amount of incidents here. We've had, it's a straight track. It is in the guise of something like a Baku or a Monaco. Maybe less extreme than that, but there's not much runoff here. If you go off at a turn, sure, there's probably an escape road or something there, but there's plenty of spots for you to rub your car up the wrong way or tag a corner, taking diving into, especially in Sector 2, one of those complicated turns. Grip is a big deal here. It's always changing. They did a resurface before this whole thing. I think they resurfaced it again 2 years ago. I think they might have done some work on it. But it's going to be, we're talking about road, street circuit. Like this is legit asphalt that people drive on every day. So you're going to have, the drivers are going to be out there in practice, basically trying to figure out where the grip is immediately here. And when the tire temperatures and the night comes in, that's going to shift dramatically as well. So it's a technical enough track for people to figure out. I'm sure we also get great shots of their eyes here in this one because of the nature of the lighting that's happening. And it seems like a fun weekend to go to. It's always kind of been one I'd like to go to because, we live pretty close to Vegas. You can fly there in like 50 minutes from here, but it's also pretty expensive. So I've still not taken the plunge on heading to it. But it should be a fun race. It's a good time of year for us. Actually, I should also mention that this 8 p.m. local time does put it in line with Singapore. So timing-wise, it's the same for the folks back home in the UK. If they're watching that in Europe or anywhere, because time zones are consistent, I believe, unless you're not doing daylight savings. So if you're on a native land, it'll be at a weird time. Or in Australia, where they have like 45-minute time zones because they're psychotic. No. Yeah.
Parts of Indiana do not observe daylight savings lined up with everyone else. It's very weird.
Amazing.
I think Arizona, do they have like a half-hour
parts.
thing going on? Yeah,
it's if you drive through native land. So if you go through like Navajo Nation or any of those places, they
I didn't know that.
Google your fucking Google Street, your whatever Google Maps goes bananas while you're fucking driving through those things. Your iPhone does.
Well, in statistics, we've only had 2 prior races here. The winners, Max Verstappen in 2023 and George Russell in 2024. So statistically, George Russell does quite well here, as does Carlos Sainz. Oscar Piastri and Fernando Alonso both have not finished very well here on average. And
Fernando
McLaren
just wants to hit the slots. He's just like, get me out of here.
McLaren has downplayed their chances here. They say that this might not be a great track for them, but Williams is supposedly looking forward to it. They think that they can punch above their weight here. But overall, Ferrari has had the best average finish here, followed by Red Bull and then Mercedes. So, in the past 2 years, though, I have rated out of 4 both races as a 3. It's entertaining. Nice. I have a note here from last year: Hamilton driving like a man possessed from 10th to 2nd. That'd be fun.
Classic Hamilton. Let's see if you can do it in a Ferrari.
Indeed. Weather-wise, let's see. So the schedule here, at least in America, or on the East and West Coasts, things start a day earlier because we're going to cross the date line. So,
What?
yeah, free practice 1 and 2 are on Thursday. And then qualifying is on Friday,
yeah.
and the race is on Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry, that is how they did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So qualifying time, we are looking at, so that's 8 p.m. local. Pretty chilly still, 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 13 Celsius. Not very much wind, and precipitation looking like 20% across qualifying day. And only dips to, looks like around 7% for race day. Temps are slightly warmer for race day. We're looking at 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 Celsius, also low wind. So cold, maybe a little bit wet as well. Heading into the race weekend, Lando Norris is, of course, on top, as we said, with 390 points. Oscar Piastri, his teammate, 24 points back, and 25 points back from him is Max Verstappen. So a total of 49 points off of the lead. George Russell is in fourth, 65 points back from Verstappen. And then another 62-point gap to Charles Leclerc, a 66-point gap to Lewis Hamilton. Those seem pretty firmly established. And then a 26-point gap down to Kimi Antonelli in seventh. And we've got Alex Albon in eighth, Nico Hulkenberg in ninth, tied on points with Isaac Hadjar. Oliver Behrman moved up 2 positions after his last race to 11th. He now is tied on points with Fernando Alonso. Just 2 points back is Carlos Sainz in 13th. Liam Lawson is in 14th, followed by Lance Stroll in 15th. Then we've got Esteban Ocon in 16th, Yuki Tsunoda in 17th, Pierre Gasly in 18th, Gabriel Bortoleto in 19th, and Franco Colapinto and Jack Doohan both with 0 points, down in 20th and 21st.
Maybe they'll be lucky in Vegas.
Maybe. In the constructor standings, McLaren is on top. They've secured the championship, of course, with 756 points. Mercedes and Red Bull both moved up a spot after Ferrari's horrible weekend last weekend. So Mercedes is now in second place, 32 points ahead of Red Bull, who are themselves 4 points ahead of Ferrari. So that looking like that third spot is the most contentious. Williams is in fifth with 111 points, 29 points ahead of Racing Bulls, who are 10 points ahead of Aston Martin, only 2 points ahead of Gene Haas and team with that strong finish from Behrman last week. Sauber is in ninth with 8 points back, and then 40 points back, bringing up the rear, Alpine.
I met a guy in Vegas who was wearing a Haas shirt. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And he was like, I work for Haas.
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
the F1 team? And he was like, no, the machining company.
Okay.
But he was like,
Still cool. Robots are cool.
yeah, I was like, you know, stay in the sport. You guys been awesome. And he was like, he wasn't going to tell me any inside knowledge or anything, but he was like, Gene is very competitive. He's like, don't worry, we're not going anywhere.
And now he's got his boy Ayao in place.
Yeah.
So he's ready to rock. The
Exactly.
vision is coming together.
All right. Well, those are the standings heading into Vegas. If you'd like to join the standings yourself, you can join our fantasy league using the link in the show notes. You can also send us an email, shiftf1podcast@gmail.com or f1.cool/emails. Let's kick things off here. Looks like Danny is first up.
Oh, I am. Hurrah. Grant writes, good tidings, Shift Trionics. Apologies if this is a bit navel-gazy, but as Danny reads off the title sponsors at the top of each episode, I can't help but anticipate some of my favorite title sponsors of days gone by, despite fully knowing they've moved on. Do you have a favorite? Mine is Umberto Roca.
I also filled them in. I think I was expecting you to say Abdullah Al-Thani today.
Yep. So we were, Patrick Klepping and I, my partner from Remap, we were in Buffalo for a Buffalo Bills game this weekend. We did a little meet and greet with some Remap fans the night before the game. And one of them is one of those real sick fucks. I'm sorry if you're listening to the show, but like you are. You just are, and you know it. You know who you are. It's one of those people who listens to this show but doesn't watch F1.
Oh, I love
Whoa.
it. That is incredible.
But they brought up Abdullah Al-Thani.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, I miss Abdullah Al-Thani. And I was like, yeah, we all miss him.
That's amazing. I'm trying to think of some we've had over the years.
And of course, cigarettes.
Simon Villeneuve was a good cigarettes, of course.
Irvine
Erica
Clinical
Siegel.
Research.
Oh yeah, of course,
Sounds
Irvine
so
Clinical
official.
Research.
Yeah.
How could I forget? Oh my god.
I like it when I'm listening to another podcast in the, I don't know, extended Giant Bomb universe, and you hear bunny crimes in there.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna quickly. I'm actually on it now. Let me look up the cancelled.
It is a weird thing because
Maybe
you
we can do a
start,
shout out.
you do start, like, they become part of your startup ritual for the show.
Yeah.
And so when the list changes, you're like, wait, I didn't hear so-and-so's name. And you're not really concerned about the money. It's just it feels off because now it's like you didn't hear the sequence.
Right.
James Andrew Perla Adams and Team Blackjack.
Oh, my God.
Remember that?
Oh, Team Blackjack.
Connor McManners was another one. Big Promble Motorsports.
Oh,
Remember them?
Big Promble.
Tractor Share, apparently, was one of them.
Hell yes.
But they come back. Sometimes they'll come back. Sometimes they'll show back up for an episode or two.
They do. Maybe F1 Gamer Dad will be back at some stage, and we'll be able to once again enjoy.
Gamer
their
Dad's got
offering.
some kids to put through college.
That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, though. Yeah, all of you. You live in memory, and oftentimes we'll meet title sponsors at events and stuff, and it's pretty badass, and I want to buy them like 5 drinks.
And remember, nobody needs to apologize for no longer spot. Like,
oh yeah,
so many people do
100%.
write in, and it's like, I'm so sorry to personally betray you on this level, but like, and it's like, it's seriously, it's fine. Like, circumstances change, like what you want to support changes. So this is never like us complaining or sort of like, where did our sponsors go? It's literally just these names sort of occupy a slot in your mind as part of the show.
Yeah.
And when ways part, you're like, yeah, what happened? That name I've always heard. So Connor writes, "Good day, gentlemen. Longtime fan of the podcast. Shout out to Megan for recommending me to it. While listening to the latest episode and Danny doing his best Flavio Briatore impression and Jack doing trying a different category of racing, I wondered something. If any of you were offered a spot in F1 but had to work under Flavio, would you take it?"
Oh,
My
man.
honest answer would be yes, because I think getting the fame and influence as a world-famous racing driver could be a good opportunity to do a lot of good. From Connor in Canada. So, I have some thoughts about this.
Oh, he's giving us a drive. It's not just you get to work at Alpine. It's,
I think Connor's putting himself in the driver's seat here, but I think for us, it's like, imagine like whatever your dream job is in F1, you can get it, but you have to work for Flavio. And my reaction to this is twofold, maybe threefold. Let's see. So I have worked only once really with someone who is like truly toxic and awful, and that is
Rob.
life demolishing experience. Like you can tell yourself like, I will build sort of a psychological palisade between me and this person and work, and like I'm in it for the money and the experience, and I'm just not going to let this person get to me. If you can actually live that life, you're a stronger person than I am. It is really tough to maintain that sort of psychological gap. It's the same way that like if you truly hate a job, you can be like, I'm just going to take the money and I'm just going to emotionally disengage from it. That is easier said than done because working life and working relationships are a huge part of your life. So I would be very wary of taking this sort of devil's bargain. However, I am now in my 40s, whereas before when I was in the situation, I was in my 30s. And I have a lot less capacity to deal with bullshit. And so I think in my 30s, someone like Flavio would intimidate me. And I think in my 40s, absolutely wouldn't. I think Flavio would end up being scared of me. And so...
You'd have so much nya. You just come packing with it. Like extra clips of nya.
It would be like you don't ever speak to me like that again.
Oh,
like,
wow. I'd love to
like
watch the
that would be a... That would be a... Like... just I will bring the thunder. That is I'm not taking the shit from you, old man. And so in my 40s, I think I would take it because I think I could deal with any bullshit that Flavio throws at me. I think I got dialed in the kind of person Flavio is and the affect they're bringing, so it wouldn't threaten me. But at a different time in my life, this is a poison chalice, and I would be tempted, but like I would say, don't do it. Now, though, in my sort of not giving a shit era, I would be like, hell with it. I can deal with Flavio. Hell, I can get him.
You're right. He is someone who, like, in affect, seems like someone who very much wants to command respect, but does not deserve it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just don't actually wouldn't want to work in F1. I think the traveling, like if I'm actually entertaining this, like, no, I'm good. Like I don't need to travel.
God. That's a great point.
Around, you know?
Yes, I can't imagine the amount of this season started back. They're starting to travel back in February for various things around this. And this is wrapping in December. Like, fuck that. No.
Yeah. Even if I could work from home, probably doing weird times, right? You got to be, well, like if I was like a video editor or something. The race in Singapore wrapped at 3 a.m. and now we got to turn this highlight reel around. Like, I think I'm good. And so Flavio is not adding anything.
Yeah, I have no desire at all to work under him or anyone else who's I couldn't respect. That was my whole thing growing up, was like having adults, not my parents, but like I had such a negative reaction to adults who were stupider than me. Like I don't, maybe it's because I was like, my siblings were like smart, nice people, and my parents were like smart, nice people, and then whenever I had a boss who was an idiot, I just like hated working for them. So that's also why I was freelance most of my life, because I just like couldn't bring myself to be underneath somebody who was like that. And I deeply wanted like mentors, like the people I worked for who were really good, I loved, and I like devoted myself to them. But yeah, whereas like I had the opposite experience when I worked at GameSpot in the US, where I suddenly felt like, oh, there's this management class here and they don't really have a fucking clue what they're doing. So I found it deeply frustrating to like have to answer to them, because like, oh, they were older than me and like were paid more, but like, you don't have the answers. Like, why am I having to dance the dance for all of you fucking people? Like, this is stupid. So yeah, no, not for me.
You've got the dancers.
Exactly. The dancers were in me all along.
Should I take this one from Joe?
Yeah.
Joe writes, "Hey all, after hearing about it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, I immediately looked up tickets and asked my wife if she wanted to go. Her response was, 'Who is that?' And sure, let's go. So off we went, and you'll learn where.
Oh my
I'll try to keep
God.
this short, but overall, it was an
my
interesting
God.
evening in an interview format, and it felt like the highlights were hits from Gunther Steiner's career. So
my
as we
God.
mentioned previously, Gunther
Yes.
Steiner had a speaking engagement.
Thank you,
And
Joe.
Joe and his wife went.
I did ask somebody to do it. So thank you, Joe, for jumping on this particular grenade. And your wife. Thank you.
I think you owe some people some money, Danny.
Oh, God, I forgot about that part. Ooh.
The event started with a video message from Gordon Ramsay telling us how cool and interesting Gunther is.
What?
Gunther started in Raleigh. These are bullet point highlights from the show. Gunther started in Raleigh and stood up the Ford Focus Rally program. Niki Lauda brought Gunther into F1 through Jaguar's Ford connection. Steiner put a business plan together for a team that buys most of its parts after seeing Red Bull buy Minardi as a second team. There wasn't a sponsor department at Haas, so it fell to Gunther to come up with sponsor money.
Oh, dear Lord. That's why he did what was it? It wasn't IKEA. It was like
right,
Lidl or Aldi or something, wasn't
Right.
it? Aldi
Sitting
furniture.
in boats.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, when...
Did he
Holy
organize the
shit.
Microsoft Store thing? No, that wasn't...
That was
with
Renault.
Haas. Sorry. It was Renault.
This is something that when Ayo Komatsu took over, he was like, yeah, Gunther was doing both the managing of the team and the sponsorship stuff, so I'm
explains a lot.
leaving that to somebody else.
Yeah.
In
Wait,
2020...
does that mean Rich Energy was Gunther Steiner's idea?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he landed that one.
Wow. And Oral Kali, I guess. That worked out well.
Well, I think there's more of that in this email. In 2020, Gene Haas didn't believe F1 was going to continue, so didn't fund the team.
Oh, wow.
F1 in general, was it? Oh, because of
Because COVID.
COVID?
Or maybe he just had a feeling in January. It was like, I don't know, man. This sucks.
Joe says that Gunther Steiner says the entire budget came from Liberty Media and sponsors.
Wow, you got a bailout. That's good American capitalism right there. He was like, you know what? I'll have the system pay for me. They need me.
Speaking of Eurocali and driver Nikita Mazepin, the Nikita Mazepin video came out after he signed the contract, but before it took effect, so they couldn't take disciplinary action based on the contract.
Very good.
I see. Yeah. I'm sure the contract didn't have any, clauses for, if we do find that you have groped a woman in the back of a car, maybe we don't honor this contract. Yeah, unfortunately. Hopefully contracts are different nowadays. Gunther Steiner said that Nikita Mazepin was actually a bright kid, just couldn't drive. And his father, Dmitry Mazepin, was very helpful
Brutal.
in creating opportunities for the team.
Yeah.
I'll bet he was. That's what money does.
Yeah.
And was decent to work with. Gene Haas was the one who
That's what
asked
I
about...
hope people say about me, that I was decent to work with. Not good, not bad. He was decent.
Decent. Gene Haas was the one who asked about bringing Magnussen back.
Nice.
And finally, Gunther parted ways with Haas on a 7-minute call while shopping in a grocery store.
That is
Hell
the
yeah.
most that is the most Gunther Steiner ending to. It was probably an Aldi.
Probably
Yeah.
was.
He's probably shopping for a canoe.
Everybody in F1 was described as a very good friend, with the notable exception of Toto, Christian, Zach, and Gene Haas. I think he cursed maybe twice the entire time. What? Come on, that's what you're paying for. And came across as a fairly normal guy. Cheers, Joe.
Toto, Christian, and Zach, and gee, that's so funny. Most of the Drive to Survive.
That's disappointing about Zach a little
It
bit,
is,
to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Not that I necessarily take Gunther's word about all of this, but that is an interesting power rank. Who are the dickheads among the team principals?
Yeah, are they the SWATs? Are they the boys who are too cool for school? I can totally see Toto and Christian being high and mighty.
So
Zach and Gene, poor Gene.
a lot does sort of make sense here. Well, yeah, but we were just saying, Danny, about suits by virtue of their position being kind of arrogant, but also knowing jack shit. Gene Haas being F1 is over, sees COVID, immediately panics and cuts his investment to nil.
But then he's like, we need to get our boy back in the car. He was the one. He remembered Hulkenberg's beautiful, luscious locks and was like,
But
Magnussen, sorry.
I can't imagine, basically, so he's doing the freelancer thing of financing the team. He gets lump sum payments from Liberty Media that are year deferred from when that season wraps. So he's waiting on that check. And then the rest of it is he's playing Motorsport Manager, where you need the sponsorship money to come in to fund the team. And until his checks arrive, you're broke. That explains an awful lot. This is how you end up being in the... What was the catalog he was shooting for with Little Schumacher?
Aldi.
It was Aldi, yeah.
Yeah.
This is how you end up doing that.
Grab that Aldi bag. I'll read this next one from Zach. Hello! With Qatar on the horizon, the mandatory cool suits likely being deployed, and remembering when Logan Sargent had to call it quits in the heat, I thought I'd write about a cool suit horror story from the NASCAR Infinity Series. It was Nashville, June of 2024, and the hottest day they raced all year. Internal car temps reached 130 degrees.
Oh, boy.
Riley Herbst's cool suit failed in such a way as it started heating the water soon into it rather than cooling it, combining with the heat in the car, and it essentially ended up hard boiling. Riley started radioing in about halfway through that he felt really hot, and after some debate decided to unplug his cool suit, but the water was already so hot that he couldn't cool down. So during a pit stop, the crew threw a bunch of ice packs into the car, and Riley, while driving, had to try and pack them into his driver's suit. He did not end up finishing the race, although he was complaining of seeing... Oh, sorry, he did end up finishing the race, although he was complaining about seeing spots, feeling woozy, and the engine burning his feet. And I believe he was sworn off cool suits ever since. Thanks, Zach from Savage, Minnesota. Savage indeed. It's the one thing we didn't want to happen. That is really...
You had one job.
That's really messed up. That's horrifying.
I seem to recall, maybe it was in that... Earnhardt documentary, but like an image of a stock car pulling up into a pit and then just like dumping raw ice cubes into a driver's lap.
This is also an image that I remember. Yeah. When he
Maybe it's Days of Thunder. I don't know. But yeah, that is wild.
That's upsetting. Hope it doesn't happen in F1. They would pass out almost immediately.
Yeah.
Zach also wrote another email. We got a trio of good emails from Zach this week. But this one, we're just nominating some films for the holiday season. Zach writes, I do a lot of movie writing and movie research, but after a lot of digging around, I haven't found a ton of movies that are Christmas movies about cars or a car. And then the ones I did find, yikes, but here you go. Okay. Christmas Cars. John Schneider is John Schneider. The former Bo Duke, a down-on-his-luck broke actor whose house is about to be repossessed until a chance encounter lets him know he can sign merch and sell it, a thing he learned in 2019, apparently. So he signs a bunch of die-cast models of the General Lee and then is shocked to learn people think the stars and bars aren't cool anymore.
Oh, no.
And so goes on a journey in the actual General Lee to prove that the symbols don't represent racist or hurtful ideas. They're just symbols, and no one was ever hurt by a symbol. He also saves Christmas from the war on Christmas. It's really bad, but you can kick it around pretty easily.
Is this a documentary, or is this a fictional movie that is about a current political issue where he's playing himself?
It sounds like that. It sounds like
That's bizarre.
It's very weird. This is like the dark JCVD, I think.
Yeah, or that Nicolas Cage movie.
Yes. Whatever it's called. It's got an annoying name.
Unbearable weight
of massive talent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Christmas on Wheels. After a woman learns her uncle sold her mother's car, she sets out on a Christmas journey to get it back, as it holds all the family's Christmas memories. She does this with the help of a hunky lawyer, and they probably fall in love. The weird part is that it was filmed in lockdown, so no one can really touch or film scenes inside. It's also really bad.
Oh my God.
Journey Back to Christmas, a World War II nurse, is struck by a comet, not like a car, the comet car.
Okay.
And,
this might be for Drew.
All right.
This might be for Drew.
And transported to a small town in 2016 where she learns the meaning of Christmas and also bonds with Tom Skerritt over his classic car, which is a focal point of the town Christmas parade. It's also really bad, but better than the other two.
Wait, I'm still unclear. Was it a celestial object that she is struck by?
No.
Okay.
It was a... who made the comet? Let me pull this up here. Mercury comet.
Okay.
Although I'm assuming, because like...
Are you sure?
The letter...
The letter C is capitalized in the email, but a World War II nurse is transported to 2016?
So maybe, that doesn't make a ton of sense, because a Mercury comet would be like... That's a post-war car, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a time-traveling Mercury comet.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's just layers of magic here where it like needs.
I guess we gotta watch it to find out.
It's like what if Christine was spreading holiday cheer?
Right. Yeah.
And so it was
Exactly.
time traveling through time to find people who need holiday cheer.
You know what I'm doing for my decorations?
Wow.
I mean,
the best part of this movie is that she's no longer like, sawing people's legs off in Normandy or whatever. Like that's
Why
that's
hasn't
nice
someone
for
made a
her.
movie like imagine a romantic comedy about Kay Summers being Ike, but told from the perspective of the car, because she was his driver, and like the car is trying to get them together. Like, go on, have an affair. Anyway, just saying though. Return to Zach. Batman Returns is a Christmas movie, and a large part of that revolves around Penguin hijacking the Batmobile, which is a car, and then has a car chase. So you should do Batman Returns for December.
I have never seen either of the Batmans directed by
Tim Burton's?
Tim
Oh, my
Burton, which
goodness.
is wild because I think I might have
shit.
seen every other Tim Burton movie.
That's
I have a deep Tim Burton.
oh my god!
But I've never
we need
watched
to,
the
we might need
Batmans.
to do a double feature.
And I've watched Batman and Robin and all the bad ones. I remember my uncle wanted to bring me to some movie, and I needed to lie and pretend I was 15, and it was in England, and the lady asked me my age, and I completely fucked it up, and he just started laughing, and then we ended up going to Batman and Robin instead.
You were literally like the guy in the pilot of Cheers, where you're like, "Oh yeah, I was in the Nom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Couldn't do it. And then he bought me a
Gross.
huge That was the guy said gross.
Yeah,
Gross. That's such a good response. Wow. And then he bought me a big bucket of popcorn and I knocked it over and felt
Nice.
really bad. And he once again
Magical.
started laughing. He was a good guy. He's a good guy. Thanks, Uncle John.
honestly, these are kind of bangers though. Like this is some real trash.
This
but I'm kinda
is
into
great.
it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Should we go? Some of these are real Hallmark although I'll be honest, the John Schneider one I'm interested in because that just sounds like, why did he not just do it? He doesn't know how to be in front of camera unless he's acting. He can't do it au naturel, but he wants so dearly to make something about the moment that is happening right now, but he just can't. It's like if they put the camera in front of him, documentary like cinema verite style, and there's no lights and he's not wearing makeup, he just can't do it. He's just like, what do I do? I have no sense of self. I'm an actor. So they
I
have
have
to
a little
construct
sympathy.
a movie within our reality where he plays himself, but everything goes okay. Maybe that's why. Maybe they tried to film the documentary and people were like, "Shut up, old man! You don't know anything about contemporary culture in America. You're a image of a bygone era." So he's like, "Okay, I'll just make my own version of reality." And
Well,
make my
imagine
own
this
movie.
though. Like you're in a somewhat beloved show where you're rowdy country boys driving around a cool supercharged car, getting up to all sorts of mischief, and it's the General Robert E. Lee. And then in the intervening time between you making that show and the present day, again, the show's Dukes of Hazzard. David Duke emerges as a national political figure.
Oh
And
God!
becomes like the face of white supremacy in the United States, which is just really bad luck for you. And then
man.
everyone's like, wait, we're actually not cool with the Confederacy anymore. The Stars and Bars is a hate symbol. And for you, it was just that was just painted on the hood of your rowdy good times Southern Adventure mobile. And so now we all face a crossroads like this. You know, you have a moment where you can listen and learn and sort of take on board the message people are giving you. Or you can make this movie where you go out and you become a political reactionary by going around being like, hey, it's heritage, not hate. And then you also fight the war on Christmas on the side of racism and fascism. I'm joining the war on Christmas on the side of the Romans.
Well, we have many options for our future.
I'll be honest, this
Patreon
Tom Skerritt
content.
one, the Comet, I kind of want to watch
Yeah.
it. I kind of like this one immediately. I have so many questions. Like, why is Tom Skerritt here? I'm kind of dying to see it.
What's Tom Skerritt look like in 2016? I kind of need to know. All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you to all our emailers. Thank you to everyone who wrote in to shiftf1podcast@gmail.com or f1.cool/emails. You can also hit us up on the socials. That's us around the internet. Should we take it around the world, Danny?
Let's race around the world.
Things are getting lighter as we get into the wintertime. As you mentioned, Danny, the F1 Academy is concluding their 2025 season in Las Vegas along with Formula One. And we've also got Super Formula with a couple of races at Suzuka Circuit in Ino, Suzuka City, Mie Prefecture. That's right. And we got Formula One on those weird times. Thursday, November 20th, Free Practice 1 is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN News, followed by Free Practice 2 at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN 2. Friday, November 21, Free Practice 3 is at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN News, followed by qualifying, again, Friday night at 11 p.m.
Amazing.
Eastern on ESPN 2. And the race, everyone, Saturday night, November 22nd, 11 p.m. on ESPN. Yeah, they used to, they normally stagger the start times, but we've got 7:30, 11, 7:30, 11, 11. No one probably notices that but me, who makes
that sounds like a Drew thing. Yeah, but I
makes
love
the
that.
schedule
I love that
graphic. Yeah. All right, well, that's what's going on this weekend. Danny, what happened this day in history?
Oh, my Lord. In history, this day, because we're recording
That's right.
a day late and a dollar short. November 19th, one of the best ways for an aspiring F1 driver to get noticed is to win the Macau Grand Prix. I think we'd all agree
It's true,
with
the famous Formula 3 race.
that. The most important race of the Formula 3 calendar held in the former Portuguese territory in China. That was an unnecessary historical
I didn't know
but
that.
I liked it. I didn't know that either. Interesting.
Well, I think it's important because, like, it is important because it's kind of like why were there races in Macau back in the day when, like, you have the Cultural Revolution? You don't associate that as a racing venue under like Maoist China, but Macau kind of had this like extraterritorial status.
What was that HBO show again about Japan?
I was saying, does this show up in
Tokyo
Shogun?
Vice?
Yeah, Shogun. That's what I was saying. I didn't know.
Yeah.
because
Those are
Shogun is the
facts.
show that sort of. I knew about all the fuckery Portugal was doing in Africa. I did not know about all this Chinese stuff until I watched that show, and I was like, man, the Portuguese
got
can't even
secret
take over.
bases.
They can't even take over Iberia. They can't even take over the peninsula they're on, and here they are trying to take over the rest of the world.
Well,
It's
I
like
think you have to
England.
flip it.
Typical.
The Castilians take over everything but Portugal. And so as Portugal, you're trying to find all the edges you can to survive.
Okay.
And so you take to the seas and you do like a land grab strategy.
When has a tiny country in Europe ever grabbed land around the world?
Many F1 stars have won the race over the years, including Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher, and
know
David
him.
Coulthard. Today in 1995, Ralph Schumacher took victory in the showpiece event. He was in F1 with Jordan within 2 years. Man, that was a dry November 19th, I guess. The Bar team were celebrating today in 2004 when Honda bought around 45% of the company from owners BAT. It signaled. That's not a word. It signaled Honda's serious intentions for their F1 program, but did lead to the departure of team boss Dave Richards, who had been brought in to run things by BAT. Richard says, I delivered what I said I would take in 5 years in only 3. You cannot look upon that as a down. It's very positive. The senior directors at BAT are over the moon. That might have been the worst day we have ever had. Ralph Schumacher won an F3 race, and there was a 45% takeover of a company that Danny can't remember how to pronounce.
No one died, but
No one
I
died,
guess
that's
this was a forerunner to BAR dying.
Okay.
So,
I mean, everyone dies, Rob.
it's
Like,
true.
F1, one day Gene Haas's prophecy will come true, and F1 will cease to exist. That's the sad reality. So enjoy it while you can, folks, because also this season will cease to exist in just 3 weeks and change time.
That's right. Final thoughts ahead of our not penultimate, race.
Yeah, Vegas is I feel like Vegas is a race that can, at a time in the season when things usually get a bit predictable, Vegas is one that can provide a little bit of bad luck and good luck, if you will. So I am hopeful that we will get an entertaining and more so an interesting ending to this race, so that it sets us up for a great little double header, end of the triple header in the Middle East. I think the worst thing that could happen is for the sport is that Lando wins and Oscar ends up swimming through in 5th or 6th. Like you said, McLaren not exactly strong here, but I think it's all going to come down to quali. And right now, Lando's qualifying really well, and Oscar really isn't.
Yes. I also just like this track because it looks cool.
I like that it's on Saturday night. That's fun.
Yeah,
It's a fun time.
It's a trench run. When like the onboard shot from the driver's perspective as they're running down the strip is incredible. It's really, really something. Final thoughts, Rob.
When F1 dies, I hope it is because we are moving into the world of Redline.
Oh yes, absolutely.
What rough, funky boy slouches now towards Bethlehem?
Well, on that note, if you would like to support the show and get access to all of our bonus episodes, the early ad-free version of the podcast, and the official Shft+F1 Discord, you can do so over at patreon.com/ShiftF1. Have a great race weekend, everyone. We will see you all next week.
It's great to have Rob back.